Okay, so a reboot was needed. And captions are delayed. Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. Alright, so thank you for your patience on that because this has been extremely frustrating. Okay. 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 Alright, I think we're good. I think we're okay. Let me turn off. That's the wrong button. Alright, so let's see if that works to help with captions. And it does. Perfect. Okay. Really? It's in the green. That's what I thought. Right, so let's see. Oh no, don't you dare. Okay, so let's see how well this goes. And I'm gonna actually go over manually because I'm not sure if the hotkeys are gonna mess with anything. Did it work? It worked! Yay! I forgot to put the volume down on that. But no! Oh, come on! Don't do this to me! Oh, don't do this to me! No! You were working. Oh, there we go. Yay! Oh, just took some pleading and begging and maybe some threats, but we're back in business. All right, so these are all of the photos that I have taken on the 27th. So, like I said, it was like heavy rain and all of a sudden like the sun came out and it looked like a red filter, like the set of like some sci-fi film, and I just had to get my my camera for this. So what I'm doing right now is flagging all the ones that I'm not going to be words. What are they? Right. All the ones that I'm not going to be editing. Ooh, excuse me. So what I'm gonna do is flag these and then just remove them from the catalog. If and when I decide to add them back in, I can. But this is just more of a series that I have wanted to do. I even took photos of Lexi. She actually let me take photos of her. I really had to be quick about it because, as you can see, she does not like to be on camera. So, if you're interested in all the stuff that I'm using right now, programs or whatever gear I use, down below is a command for that. So I think in the span of an hour I took, what? Yeah, I honestly thought I took 100 photos. I did not. I'm rusty. Alright. I will say that I am extremely happy with the fact that Lightroom is behaving, knock on wood. Okay, so we're going to remove from Lightroom, and then... Okay, not perfect, but I can work with this. But it's basically the same premise where you flag them, remove, and now we have the 5 photos. I'm much happier now. This will be fun, because I haven't done this in a while. So let me actually... let's bump up the music just a little bit. I want to have some fun with this. And as always, I'm doing a temperature check. And since it's my birthday month, I have a goal on my Ko-Fi that I'm trying to raise $2,500 for a dedicated desktop computer with a 2-monitor setup. I want to be able to not have to worry about my computer crapping out when I have to do stuff. Or a laptop or a computer that warps from the heat. So if you have coin and you like what I do, please consider becoming a supporter there. So now, I also did like a little Twitter thread, and heads up, I will be eating on stream. I don't eat, I get dizzy, and I get cranky. It's not fun time. Okay. So in here, this is basically the original photo as taken through my camera. So, ooh, even better. Okay, so always bear in mind that you are being very pushy, child. What is wrong? What's the matter? It's not even an hour yet. Would you like to come say hello? Would you like to see your adoring fans? Come here. Good girl. Hi. So while I give her scritches, bearing in mind, this is as close as I can get it to how it looked in the moment. I also used some white balance tricks to take care of the look of the image, and then like some aperture and shutter speed. Oh, did I get a tickle spot? I got a tickle spot. So getting the shot is pretty much like knowing your gear and trusting your gut. And taking a crap ton of photos and only expect like 4 or 5 to be absolutely stunning. In this case, I went with a 150 for shutter speed, and I fluctuated between 120 and then as high up as 180. kept the aperture as wide as possible to take in as much light and also to get this really cool silhouette that you see in the foreground. I also wanted to make sure I got that really cool look that the light was giving of like this orangey, yellow, red filter, but IRL. So this is what kind of came out, and I'm gonna so what I'm gonna do now is just bring out a little bit more, and I think I'm gonna use some presets to do that. So yeah. I want to keep the softness. Maybe. Nah. Nope. Maybe. You know what? Malapa's good. What is it? Careza? Let's... Alright, so we're gonna go with this. And then work our way down to... Ooh, actually, no. Hold on. Alright, so something seems to not vibe with me, and I'm not sure what. What are we doing on luminance? Okay, okay. What's the hue? It's neutral. That's actually... Okay. How are we doing here? Good, good. I want to beef up the contrast. And sharpening is fine. Chromatic aberration, profile corrections. Okay. $18.55. That's accurate. I don't need... Actually, do I? Nah, I don't think grain would be... I don't think grain is needed. Like, if I were to do this, like, with actual film, it'd be fine. So, let's see... Ah! Let's tone down the vibrance a teeny tiny bit. Oh. Make it about a 14. Saturations can actually go down a couple. Alright. That's good. Let's go into the contrast. Alright, so this probably needs to be a bit more darker. So I can actually sweeten that. What's the matter? Okay, okay. Alright, so I'm gonna take a quick break. Somebody needs... Do you need to go outside? Oh, you need water. Hold on a second. I'm going to go give her some water. So, I will be right back. Alright everyone, welcome back. Alright, so last I checked, this... I'm not sure. So what I'm gonna do is start from scratch. I don't... Ah! There it is. That's what I was having an issue with. Okay. That's the problem. So let's actually... There, that's actually a lot better. I like that. It is always better to... Okay. Okay. Push that up. Give me more detail. Ah, beautiful. Okay, so let's actually go back here. Ooh. Oh my god. Lexi, go on your pillow. Come on, go on your pillow. Up, up. Come on, up. Up. Go on your pillow. Go on your pillow. See, there's wind. See? You feel the breeze. Good girl. Trying to get her to cool off and understand that the fan is her friend. And are you? I love you too, but you gotta go on your pillow. Go. I should just get the box fan and just put it in front of her to see what happens. Alright, so that's good. I want to check something and see how this will all look. I think. Alright, so I'm actually going to take out the tone curve. Lens corrections is good. That's good. Alright, let's see what happens. Alright, so this is more of a vertical shot that I took. Similar, but thankfully everything is like in a nice silhouette. Everything up here looks very pretty. And the only things that I am going to do is bump up a couple of things. Let's see. Yeah, that looks good. That actually looks really good. I like that. It's like nice and soft, but you can still see the details here. And give it a little bit more clarity. Okay. Go get it. She's been rather bored as of late, and I feel bad. What you got there? So, let's actually bring the midtones. Around there. And just as a little comparison, a little darker over here, but here you can actually see the details a bit better, which is something that I do want. Where it's just like the two that are kind of off-center, but it goes with like how the direction of the light is going. You got Mr. Fox? You got Mr. Fox? Ready? Sit. Sit. Ready? Go get it. Alright, so what I would like to do is somewhere in a... Yeah. Maybe? I'm gonna keep it there for just a half a second. Okay. Whee! Boop. Boop. Hey. Go get it! Alright. Let's actually bump this up to 20, see what it looks like. Yeah. Maybe. This is a maybe, because you can tell from right over here, it's noisy as hell. Let's bump that up. So if I were to turn off all the detail that I just put into this, that's what it looks like. Not the best. Though it does remind me of like some really old film. But that's not what I'm going for. Hey, do you want me to throw that again? Where'd it go? Ready? Get it! Good girl! Okay, so... Ah! That's why. So, that is actually looking good. And like a comparison. And a fun little fact, I don't look at my screen with... I only look at my screen really quick to make sure I got the shot. And what happens is I get the shot, I move on, and then pray to God that the photos show up nicely in Lightroom or in Bridge. So... Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Get it! You want me to throw it? I do. So, you can tell right off the bat that this is a little bit darker. You can see certain details, but it's not a lot. And I'm looking at this, so I'm thinking about changing the mid-tone. Like, the shadows, just to... That's better, actually. I like that much better. The greens are still out there, but it's not looking like it's a mess. Yay, she's eating her food finally. I'm so happy. I got worried for her yesterday because like I put out like a feast for her and she didn't eat it. Like even putting peanut butter in her food to sweeten the deal, she did not want it. Like, oh my god, is she sick or da-da? And then like she ate this morning. I'm like, really? I have a fickle eater on my hands. So anyways, I'm pretty happy with... I think that's good enough. I'm not gonna like... Wait. I'm being very indecisive right now. This is... Yeah, nah. We're going... I'll take it. You know what? This is... Alright, that's good enough. So for this... Holy crap, what the hell? Okay. And there's no grain, that's good. Alright, so I'm actually gonna take a quick break. Vallejo! How you doing, buddy? Hold on, my captions are borked. Alright, there we go. Just had to reset that. So, I'm actually gonna take a quick break, so please feel free to put some hearts in chat. Tell Lexi what a very good girl she is. Be sure to take care of yourselves, and I will be right back. Hello everyone, I'm back. Thank you for hearts in chat and for telling Lexi what a very good girl she is. So let me turn off this fan because apparently she doesn't want to use it. So I'm going to try to switch over to some sewing. A lot of the stuff when I get into Photoshop requires me to just do basic edits for landscape, and then saving it into the files, which I don't, that last bit I don't want to share. So let's change up the category. And to answer Valeo's question, I am doing quite well. It is very muggy out. It has been incredibly warm. It rained yesterday. I think it rained earlier today, question mark. But like everything in my house has been blackout curtains, air conditioner, blackout curtains. The fact that I'm drinking warm-ish tea says something. I don't know what, but it says something. But for today, I am calling the fact that Lightroom behaved after a hard reboot of the laptop a win. Especially when everything had gone to absolute crap. This is like the second hard reboot I've had to do for stream. Monday was like the last, just when I finished up When the Night Comes, or what I also like to call is Shears Has a Mighty Thirst. Because I did, and it was fun. The fact that I drink hot coffee despite the temperature probably says the same thing. Yeah. So, let me grab my tools. Because if anyone follows me or interacts with me knows I'm working on a recreation of the Sophie dress, and I'm actually going to put that command in the commands list right now. Thank you, Adobe, for telling me Lightroom updated just as I closed it. So, a brief temperature check. Not as bad, not as bad. And I also have an ice pack, like my external drive, on top of an ice pack. Because I figured out that if I can keep that cooled, my stinger transitions will work a little bit smoother. Now, if I can find my commands, that'd be, there we go. Hold on a second. Alright, so there are all the commands, and if you're interested on what I'm drinking, I have a Lavender London Fog. I first tried this with my collab with Ice Cold Brew. Definitely give him a check out. He does amazing stuff, and his knowledge as a barista is very good. So, like, seeing him do fancy schmancy coffee drinks. Burva, hi! I'm doing good. About to have a sip of my tea. How are you? Hold on a sec. Let me give y'all some shout outs, because... So yeah, be sure to follow these two people. Vallejo is part of the Fight Night crowd and is always fun to play with. Verva makes wonderful content, is a very sweet person. They're both good quality people, and I highly recommend them. So yeah, let me switch over to Craft Cam. And actually, let me move that there. Move some of the scrap. I said what I said, Vallejo. You're good quality people. Accept it. So... Alright. So I have my bag of wheat thins. I have my drinks on this side off camera. And where did I put... Aha! So, tools of the trade that I use for sewing, at least for hand sewing. We've got my pair of shears that are my thread snips. I'm thinking of maybe asking somebody for like some scrap leather and just like make myself a little sheath for this where it goes in between and then like snaps on. That way it doesn't fall off and stab me. I have my trusty wrist pin cushion. I got this at I think at Joann's, and it works very well, especially when like you're on the go and you need to take care of some stuff, or if you're doing some fitting, stab it in the side, it's on your wrist, boom, done. I have my Gutermann 220 or 220 yard or 200 meter from the Metric Folk cotton quilting thread in color number 4932. Again, 4932. There we go, captions. Now you're catching up. You have scrap leather? Ooh. Hold on, I forgot I turned off the face cam last time. Because I think at the time I was just like, my camera's at a weird angle. I don't feel like this. There we go. So, there we go. That's fixed. Done. But yeah, Wednesday I was in the dining room with like the mat down on my table, like the camera like pointing straight down, and then like the face cam at a very odd angle. I wasn't used to that, so I was just like, you know what? I'm making weird faces. I don't want to show that today. Which, meh. But anyways, wrist pin cushion with various pins. These are dressmaker, the metal ones are dressmaker pins by Dritz. I think these are also by Dritz. I have no idea, but I use a lot of stuff. Because oftentimes when you know somebody and they do crafty stuff, if I can find it, DM me. I would love to do a trade. Because if you just work with leather, I have so much beeswax. I have a lot. I have so much. Like, I have to send pronouns in my bio, what I owe them, and I make them in the shape of bees. I got like a giant brick from Michael's of beeswax, and then I melted it down into silicone molds into shapes of bees, flowers, and diamonds. Because I can. And last but not least, I have my soft plastic thimble by Dritz. I'm not sponsored by them, but hi Dritz. You should sponsor me. I'm very loud about things I like. So this works well because, like, with the plastic, it warms up the more it's on your finger or in a pocket or it's a magic pocket. And it's pitted, so like if you went to grab something from the needle, it'll stay. So what I'm gonna do is just park that there. Put that on. And get to sewing. Because I made a lot of progress. I basically took some scraps from this fabric in particular because I didn't want to cut more fabric. I didn't want to waste it. So what I did for the back was I took some scrap fabric, used the width of the pattern from the paper, like the paper pattern, marked it down, and then used my scissors to trim that out. I then went to the sewing machine to sew it together to make it one large strip that can be trimmed down, then ironed it to an inch of its life. I've only done basic stuff, nothing recently, but I want to try making stuff. Eventually when I have the money. Oh yeah, I feel that. I definitely feel that. Like, once the dresses are done, I definitely want to learn sewing with leather. Because if you're a fan of Hades, my next major project will be the Hades Varsity Jacket series. And I'm starting with the best girl, Dusa. And in this house, Dusa is best girl. She is adorable and sweet. And while she can handle herself, I will fight. Proper leatherworking requires a sturdy work table and some specialized tools. Yeah, I've heard, like, I have a lot of friends who are in the Society for Creative Anachronism, and one of them does leather work, another one makes chainmail, and they gave me a dice bag that's chainmail. Because they were like, oh, we know you do D&D, so here. I'm like, wait, what? Cool. So, I don't think I really need to make such tiny stitches. But again, like, this is working out, this mock-up is actually working out so much better that I want it to look nice. But, and also, Vallejo, guess who fucked up their shoulder again? I'm running on ibuprofen, ice, and I rested most of today by watching starting to watch season 3 of The Umbrella Academy. I tried making one of those before and it was super hard. Yeah, yeah. It's because I got so hyper-focused on sewing the front part of the waistband. I spent one day doing that, like hand sewing it. And then sewing tags for a paid gig, and then not resting, and then typing up stuff. So I bring this upon myself. So I'm going at a slower pace, and I'm not using super long thread. But, I think brain wants to do a thing, but what was I gonna say? Vallejo, there's a reason why people say, "What did you do this time?" when they see me. That's actually... There. Boom. Done. I will say that, like, I am gonna take it a little easier this week with the sewing. Because once the waistband's done, it's moving on to hand sewing the cuffs. And then drafting, cutting, and then testing out a ruffle. Thank you, Vallejo. I appreciate it. But yeah, like, I really would love to, like, use this as a viable dress. Because if I can wear this for, like, summer, fall, as, like, a proper sundress, you bet your ass I will. And if it comes out really nice, what I'm probably gonna do is get a zipper, like an actual chunky zipper, and then hand sew that to this and make it like a proper sundress. Because one, the fabric's gorgeous. And two, if I have enough, I will make this top again. And just make it like a really cute crop top. Because what better way to take historical stuff and then just modernize it to fit your sensibilities? Just be like, is that an Edwardian crop top? Yes. Yes, it is. And it is comfy. And also be able to wear it, like, with a high-waisted skirt. And just be like, do-do-do-do-do. I'm just doing my thing. Don't mind me. Let's point that down. There we go. You see that better. So while I'm whipping it into shape, pun intended, how's everyone in chat? And if you are in lava land, like my mother and I hope you are able to stay cool. Or have access to lots and lots of ice cream, or frozen yogurt, or the lactose-free versions. Because thank the gods for Ben & Jerry's for doing that. Because, like, you put your AC on turbo? Thank the gods. I know you've been having, like, a hard time with, like, the heat and, like, the fact that your AC has been, like, your AC. For us, it has actually cooled down over the last days. It's been pleasant. Nice! I'm guessing it's, like, what, 20 or 15 degrees by you, Verva? In Celsius? I am learning my metric. I am forcing myself to learn metric. Because nowadays I cannot do measurements in imperial. I have to do it in metric because decimals are so much easier than fractions. The only thing I can... Oh, about 27 to 35 for... Nice! It's like the only thing that I cannot do for metric is like baking. If I had like a little scale and I set it to metric and be like, that's good enough, it's fine, I can do it. There are some recipes where it's just like, okay, how do I crap. It's just easier to go to like the cup set that's like quarter, eighth, half kind of thing. It's still kind of struggling, but it's more comfortable at night. I'm glad. Cups are good, but ounces? Unless it's just like... For bottles, like liters or ounces are fine for me. I literally cannot do fractions all that well, which is weird because I used to be able to do long division with fractions. Like my father taught me that. There's a story of how my dad taught me how to do a long division problem with the fractions. It was different from how my teacher for math did it, and I said, Mr. So-and-so, I got the same answer, but I got it differently. Can I and he's like, okay, explain. Now, my father used to make me tell every single step to him in order for me to understand what I was doing. If I didn't say a step, I had to start over from scratch. At the time, it was a very frustrating thing to do. Like, really frustrating. My father and I used to get into arguments and shouting matches because of this. But once I was able to get it, he's like, exhausted. The both of us are exhausted, but I'm like, I finally get it. I finally get it. So when I started to explain step by step how I got the answer, my math teacher was writing every step on the board as I barked it out, and then I was like, and that's how I got it. Puts the chalk on, like, puts the chalk down. I think it was either a chalk or a dry erase marker. I don't remember. So I think they started putting dry erase boards in schools. But I cannot remember for the life of me. But he was like, whoever taught you that did a very good job. I was like, I'll be sure to tell my dad. And back then, he was very much encouraged to, like, if you got the same answer for the math problem, you were fine. Because there are multiple, at least with algebra, there are multiple ways to get a similar answer. And algebra sometimes can be a frickin' mess. Did you mean ounces or ounces liquid or ounces weight? Oh, screw that. But yeah, like doing ounces to yards. Because I remember, oh god, like a few years back, I used to follow this YouTube channel about like a couple who lived in Korea. I won't name names. But like, I went to a meetup, I met the one half of I met them and I talked to them. The one person had mentioned that they would knit, and I was like, I'm really sorry, I had like some yarn ready for you, I forgot it. And they mentioned like, oh yeah, I couldn't really find any like yarn shops in my neighborhood. And I was like, we're gonna fix that. So it took some time, and then I managed to find some stuff from my stash, and then I did some hand spun, because if you see in the back, right over there, is my Ashford Kiwi. I named her Pink Martini, or Pinky for short. None. Help. So what happened was, like, I had like hand spun and hand dyed some yarn, and I had no memory of how much I spun up. So what did I do? I took out my mom's scale. I did the tear and everything, which is already like you push a button. It's like, okay, that's the tear. Drop the yarn on the scale. And it's like, okay, how many ounces? Okay, cool. I go online, I find a converter. And it's like, oh, cool, that's how many yards. So I write it on little tags, and then have like a suggested gauge. Suggested gauge. Then $60 later at the post office for customs, it gets sent out. I got to see the live stream where they found all of the yarn, all 20 skeins, plus 1 or 2 unicorn tails, that I literally shoved into the box. And a shirt from my roller derby team. And a cowbell signed by Toby Froud. For those who do not know, Toby Froud was the baby in Labyrinth. I got him to sign the bell, like the cowbell from my team. And I explained, hold on, I can explain. My friend and I are in roller derby. I just wanted to see if you would, I wanted to know if you could sign this. He did. So that cowbell is now in their possession. So they saw all of this yarn. I gave the person felted soap, some snarky tags that say, if you don't like this, give it back. Or, I like you, but if you put this in the dryer, I will kill you. And they liked it, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, like the sheer fact that I had to do ounces to yards. That was... oh dear God. And also, show of hands. Who here curses out word problems? Especially the ones like the 2 trains are going in this direction or that direction. That same math teacher used to have to act out those those word problems just so I could understand what the hell I'm looking at. And to this day, I'm still very much like that due to my learning disability. So it is such a pain in the ass. Like, to this day, if you give me a word problem with too much information, I nope out super fast. It's like, give me the information, give me what you need, and I will do my best to fix it. I hate them, but for a different reason. That's fair. I have also cursed out... oh god, what was it? Actually, no, I loved geometry and trig. I could do Pythagorean theorem very well. I could do percentages really good. I think it's because of the fact, like, a lot of the times I've had, like, good teachers, but I was always in a classroom full of folks that really hated my ass, which was a common thing growing up. Or in a classroom where I wanted to learn, but the teacher wasn't good. Like, I enjoyed statistics. I just did terribly on testing. And the last time I ever got a 95 in math was, I want to say, senior year of high school. And that's only because of the fact that it's only because my resource teacher was also the inclusion teacher for my math class. So inclusion class was basically one teacher from a certain department and one from the special ed department. Resource was basically for students like me, where you got to do stuff like read books, and like it was basically like this class that if you were fully mainstreamed or put into classes with other non-special ed kids, you had that. I also remember like just doing my math homework in resource class, because I was just like, yeah, I don't understand this, and just having basically a private tutoring session with that resource teacher, which was pretty stinking cool. Pretty stinking cool. God damn it, I cannot words today. And we are actually right into the middle panel here. So, to give a quick look, this is what the waistband now looks like. I still have to press it, because I wanted like a small waistband and then big poofy skirt. So let me take a sip of my tea. I'm enjoying London fogs more than I can possibly say. That's good. And like once the tea thingy, like to brew tea in my mom's coffee machine is clean, I use that to like brew some tea. Like put the honey into the mug, and then while it's brewing, get the heavy cream, make that like all nice and frothy. And then when it's ready, pour the froth in. It's like a perfect temperature, and I'm so used to just put kettle on stove, turn to high, wait for the whistle, and then wait for it to cool down. I did not realize I could live in the future. I still want an electric kettle for like the office, where it's like you push a button for a certain type of tea. It becomes that temperature. And did I make a, yes I did. I am using my noodle noggin, which, if you haven't noticed, I also have a throne. There's never any pressure to do so. I will say, my birthday's coming up on July 31st. I'm thinking of maybe either doing like another one-shot or just have like a hangout day where maybe do a different route of the visual novel, where I just get to be thirsty as hell and have somebody on as color commentary. I am incredibly tempted to invite SJ on for that, just so he can drag me for all that I am worth. or just like have like a round table of folks that I hang out with here on Twitch or on Discord, be like, yeah, let's have a hangout. Let's like shoot the shit kind of thing. I think that would be fun. Yeah, electric kettles. I did not know they existed until like 2 years ago. I was watching Urban Bohemian. He had an electric kettle, and I'm like going into chat like, wait a minute, what's that? He's like, oh, it's an electric kettle. I'm like, wait, what? That is so cool. So, and then like when I pet sit for a friend, they have one. It's a Breville, and it has like this certain buttons for different type of tea, and I began to use it while I was looking after the kitties. So it was really nice, like having perfect temperature tea. It was like living in the future, and they teased me for that too, like not knowing what an electric kettle was and the fact that I was geeking out over it. They were like, yeah, we have, because like my friend's husband is from London, so he's like, yeah, we have these all the time. I'm like, what? So I know I am a filthy little heathen when it comes to stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely want to do something for my birthday where it's just like, I have a thirst. Or just like talk with folks and have color commentary of me losing my shit. Thirsting over characters. And if I were to ask SJ, I think he would have a good time doing that. But I definitely want to, like, do that while really plugging the Ko-Fi and just be like, hey, it's my birthday. You can type in exclamation Ko-Fi in chat. Hint, hint, hint. And just see if I can be able to meet that goal of $2,400 so I can get myself an actual desktop computer. And I can have the power to do all the stuff I need to do. And not have to worry about a single thing for quite some time. And also be able to play Guilty Gear and not have to have so much rollback. Vallejo can attest on how slow the game goes when they fight against me. But I did talk to a friend of mine. They mentioned the potato mod, which they had said, like, look, it's probably the backgrounds that is causing everything to slow down. And I'm like, are you sure? They're like, they sent me the link to the mod and they offered to help me install it. So I am going to talk to them and see if I can get that installed and see if that would work. Because, like, if it makes it, like, the backgrounds... Yeah, I yearn for the day when we can have a proper speed match. Yeah. I would like to be able to play May and have the full power and be able to have my graphics at least on medium. The day where I boot up Guilty Gear and all of a sudden I start going fast. That would be a wonderful day, and just hearing everybody going like, oh shit! Shears got an actual computer! Because, like, the whole thing is, like... Yeah, it is... Yeah, like... I'm doing a temperature check. Not as hot, because what I did was I cleaned the desk. I got rid of all the dust bunnies underneath, because I hadn't like fully done like a deep clean of my desk in a while. So cleaned it, sterilized it, like move stuff around, kind of clean. And what I did was I cleaned the laptop tray, like full on dusting, like cleaned it. And then like it has a thing where it's like you can tilt it. So I figured I'll tilt it up and then see if that will help with like the airflow. And so far it has been. I've been able to play Dragon Age Inquisition for quite some time with very little issue. I have also put, for like when I stream, I have a small ice pack. I wrap it up in a paper towel and I put the external drive on top of that. Because I found out that doing that helps it from overheating and prevents the stinger transitions from staggering too much. And like Vallejo said, my laptop has become warped. It doesn't close shut completely anymore. And I think it was Vallejo who like literally took a ruler to a photo I took of my laptop to show how much the warp has become. Like the very first time I showed everybody that, they were like, what the hell? And I think SJ's first reaction was, you need to promote your Kofi a lot more. And I'm just like, I know. I know. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna take a quick little stretch break because I do feel my shoulder starting to tense up. And let's do that. So, as you can see, it is nice and neat. I was at least in voice chat when that happened. I don't remember if I was the one who did that, though. It was either you or Virus. I don't remember who. Ah, thank you for the water. I have the big bottle. So as I like to do, if you are also watching along or crafting along, here's your time to take a stretch, get some goddamn water, or some whatever beverage you like. Especially if you're in a climate where it is extremely warm and your air conditioning or internal HVAC is not working. Please be safe. So and when you stretch, do remember to breathe. I get yelled at by my dance teacher for not breathing. Breathing brings in oxygen, which helps with the blood flow and the muscles. And do remember to go slow. Yeah, I definitely feel something right there. Like, last night I was watching Vampire Hunter D and Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust with my buddy Lonzo, and we took a break after finishing the first film, and then like I went immediately to my bedroom, pulled out the foam roller, and just put my back to it. And I don't have like a smooth foam roller, I have the bumpy one where it massages like really deeply. And I will say, for quick content warning about body issue, like spine stuff, in 3, 2, 1. I felt my body snap, crackle, and pop, especially my back. And then once I like sat up, I was like, oh, okay, that worked. And then came back. And that is the end of the content warning. But I do enjoy that foam roller because I also use it for stretching. I know there's like stretching blocks or yoga blocks that you can use to like elevate your leg while you're stretching to get a better stretch. I use the roller. Either just to like something to reach for because it is a little weighted. It's like a little bit, it's not super heavy, but it's heavy enough where you can just grab it and hold on. Like, I use it when I can for like my back, my legs, like sides here. And then afterwards I do the ice pack thing. Because when I injured myself, I think it was my hamstring, and at the time I was at this studio and the person said like, look, if you're gonna stretch, make sure you do, and you're using the foam roller, make sure you do some ice packs just to help with the inflammation. I was like, new information. Thank you. And like literally I was not even being condescending. I really enjoyed learning about that because I with the exception of a toe, I have not broken a bone. Chase the evil eye. So my injuries have always been soft tissue, and always because either I was doing something full contact or because I'm graceful. I am incredibly graceful when I dance. I trip on air. I have a card for the Klutz Club. And I pay dues. You know what? I actually should make like a card on Canva. Be like, here's the proud member of the Klutz Club. Union blah 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 blah. So but like I still feel it here. I think it's just like a pinched nerve. But Vallejo, I have stubbed my toe more times than not. Like, I can walk through a completely dark room, oh, perfectly fine. I can navigate a messy room. And right now, this isn't, like, this? You can see the floor. But when I'm working on projects, this is an explosion, and I can navigate that perfectly fine. If I go into the living room, I trip on air. I've bumped my head, like, putting shoes on. Because I'm putting sandals on, and all of a sudden I go to move to my left foot, and then all of a sudden, ding! I hit my head on the dresser. And I'm just like, Shante Kafas said it hurt. So, and I think I've told you and Twisted about the time I did an axe kick to the face. Like, fun little fact, I did Taekwondo for 10 years. Don't really talk much about it. Not as like a, oh, I'm ashamed of it. I was like, but it's like more of like, eh. Clearly your movement is buffed while in your lair. Yeah. Or if I'm dancing. Because like when I dance, I am graceful, I know how to command a crowd, and like on Father's Day, I performed for some World War II veterans. Because at first I'm like, oh my god, I had this one piece that's by Latina Jazz. Not teenager, yeah, there we go. Good on you, Captain, so you're catching up. It's like a jazz burlesque inspired version of the Sailor Moon theme. I'm like, oh my god, is this gonna be too much? And then like the two dancers that went before me, I know them, they're very sweet. They invited me to perform. So I was just like, yay, I know these people, friends. So I'm just like, oh, maybe I should have went with Santana. And then like I see like them perform, and they're always really good. They're very much on point with each other. And I noticed that some of the people in the audience were getting bored. And I'm like, well, I can't have that. We can't have that. So I had two pieces, the Sailor Moon one, and then I danced to Alicia Keys' Fallen by Alicia Keys. And for both pieces, I have like these flared black pants that have the evil eye embroidered onto like the hem of like the bottom. And then a blue costume that I call the Molly Mock. That has its own story, I'll tell it another time. But I was like, I'll wear that. And then I had like a feather and sequin boa for the Sailor Moon piece. And then when it's my turn to go up, I make a show of it. I know I am a shameless flirt when I dance. I've been told this. So I go up, I don't say a thing, and I wait for the music to start, and there was a meme posted in the Wine Cellar Discord a while back of how situational like introverts, when they are in their element, you will know. That's me. That is literally me. It was such a call out, but it was so true. So like, as I'm performing, and I'm literally performing blind because my eyes are extremely myopic. Like, I'm very nearsighted. So I'm dancing, I'm connecting with the audience as I normally do, and all of a sudden I hear in the audience like, yeah! And I'm like, I got him. I got him. So by the time I'm done, a bunch of World War II veterans gave me a full-on ovation. And I told my dad that, and I was like, yeah, I gotta stand an ovation. Less on the stand-in, but more on the ovation. He's like, proud of you. So the fact that like one of the vets was like, yeah! Oh, that made my heart so happy. Like, I got them like to like get into the spirit of it, because they're not gonna know what a zagreed is. Which is like the la 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 sound. So if I can get them to do a similar equivalent of being like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm fine with that. That is fun. It is respectful. And by the time I was done, my body was a complete mess, and I had to go to the bathroom and change out and book it to go meet my dad. So it's like, be graceful, and then go into the bathroom or dressing room and scream. And then be the clumsy little bastard I am. So, always fun. Always fun. And I will say this, my stats were, my dump stat is charisma. But that don't mean I always succeed on my checks. So, also, did that command not work? Come on, wakey wakey. You little... You son of a basket, get... Did it not work? I'm gonna have to fix that later. But yeah, the whole point is I'm clumsy. I'm also plugging my Kofi, which I'm gonna do again. Because I am working on a Discord server. Oh no. But... Bots, what are you doing? Why are you not working? But yeah, like I'm slowly working on a Discord server. I have like 2 bots set in. And I am taking my time because I want to do it right. And when I look at communities, I look at stuff like the wine cellar as like something to have as like a good standard of how a community should be run. Twisted and her mods do an amazing job, and that's something I would love to be able to do. I'm also doing it all by myself, and it's not a complaint, that's actually just facts. Like, I currently don't have the money to hire a consultant, but I'm taking my time. And I'm operating on what my teacher and I my dance teacher and I like to say is Arabic time. We get there when we get there. And so far, today, like I said, I put in a couple of bots, Purity and Sesh, because that's what is in the wine cellar Discord, and that works really good. Like, I like Sesh. And I like Purity Bot because of the fact that they don't shill NFTs, and they also do very well. And I also connected the Kofi to the Discord. So there'll be like exclusive access for Kofi supporters, which is great. And I'm also going to do like a small general area where folks who come on here and just be like, oh, I made a clip. Cool, put it in the Discord, because my bots for chat have no chill. They refuse to let even the mods post a link. I still have no freaking clue how or why, but I'll figure it out. Okay. Oh, it's looking so nice, and the darker thread is nice and invisible. So, actually, it would help if I showed my work. So, as you can see, it is looking incredibly neat. All I have to do is just iron the waistband and make it nice and flat. Like all of this, like the seams here and here, are the result of me spending a lot of my time at the ironing board. Like full on just blasting music or watching shows or listening to podcasts about nobles in history being nobles in history, aka very, very stabby. So I also have like what's called tailoring hands. They're like these pouches that can be used to shape stuff like collars, or if you need to like iron something that isn't a flat shape, it works pretty well. And if you also want to throw it at somebody that annoys you, I'm not saying I'm encouraging that. I'm putting this out there for my own legal defense. I'm not saying throw it at people, because those things actually do have wood dust in them, and that hurts. I am saying, though, self-defense is a thing. But in regards to, like, keeping your seams nice and flat, it actually helps. Like, instead of, like, using your hand to, like, check and burn your hands in the process, like I have, you put that on top and it absorbs the moisture because of, like, the wood dust. Because apparently there's a tool called a clapper. It's basically a piece of wood that's unvarnished that you use to make the seam, like your seam, super flat. I don't have that, and even if I did, I'd probably just go to like the hardware store, ask for like a 2x4, chop it down and be like, plop, there we go, there's my clapper. I tend to go down the redneck engineering route, or as I like to call it, Italian engineering at its finest. It's just be like, yeah, we can fix it. I got tools. So, gonna move that away from the mug warmer. But yeah, I am still of the opinion, and always have been, you don't need all the fancy tools. Like, if you can find it for cheap or for free, do it. Anyone who's in my community knows that if you are starting up a new craft and you know somebody who's been in said craft, they will say this, oh, you're starting up? Oh, great, I have some stuff that I need to get rid of. I think you want it? Don't worry about paying, I just need to get rid of it. They literally will do that, and it is a lot. I still get free fabric and yarn from other folks who'll be like, oh, you want this? I know you do this. You do a thing. Here, take. So it is always fun. And always do keep an eye out. You don't have to spend a crap ton on your crafting. The barrier for entry should not be high, especially since there is inflation and the world's kind of going to shit. Do something that makes you happy, but also that doesn't break the bank. And a lot of the times, sewing, yarn, like knitting, can be expensive at times. But if you can find some good quality yarn at like you're at a local craft shop. And if you have access to a local yarn and fabric shop, sometimes those things are combined, go for it. If you have the means to do so, that makes you happy, do it. but if you also want to just save some money and aren't ready to commit, there are always options. And that's what I've actually told my students, because I teach. I like teach people how to knit. And I tell them, like, look, go for Lion Brand, go for Red Heart, because actually Red Heart's gotten so much better in the recent years. Like, go for like a wool acrylic blend, because the acrylic allows you to have yarn that you can put in the wash without felting. Felting isn't always bad, but it also allows like the fiber in wool to shrink. And if that's not your intention, then it's probably a good idea to have some acrylic in there. And that's what makes it superwash. So the fun part about it all is that if you're able to find something for cheap or for free, always keep an eye out on those clearance bins, because you never know what you might find. Or even at, like, the dollar store. A friend of mine who knits and does all this amazing crafting, I've been to his craft room. It is glorious. He will go to, like, this local shop by him, and he's like, I found these skeins of yarn for super cheap. This is a danger to my wallet because of how cheap it is. Like, cheap in terms of price, but not quality. So, let's put that there. And I've literally gotten this fabric on clearance for $3.50 a yard. I ended up taking the entire bolt with me. And it was suggested to me by, I think, one of the owners of the shop that I went to. And they had said, like, you're spending $5 a yard, like 5 and change on muslin, which is practice cloth. Why don't you use this? This is prettier and it's cheaper. And I'm like, how much cheaper? $3.50 yards. It used to be 12. I'm like, done. So like the next time I go by, I look at the $3.50 bin to see what's there. Because altogether, this and like some green fabric that I got, because I wanted to make like either a pinafore skirt or like another apron, I made out like a bandit. And all together, like this fabric, the green fabric, and like the skirt fabric for Mock-Up 1.0, I got for $35–40 all together. That would have normally have cost me something more, which I'm very thankful that they directed my attention that way. Because while like white or unbleached muslin can be marked, so can this. A little harder to do so, but if you're marking on what's called the wrong side, which is the lighter side here, or on here, you just need like, I don't know, pen or like a really good chalk that's contrasting and you're fine. And in my case, I can visualize like what I'm seeing and how it looks. And also the diamonds on this, and it's forcing my brain to be like, wait, what if I line up the diamonds and make it like super seamless? It's not a high priority, but if I can do it, I will. So it's a fun thing. I am not I think I've mentioned it before, like I am interested in adequacy of historical stuff, where it's just like, it's good enough. Like, if I can have, like, the bare bones of a historical thingy, I'm fine with that. It doesn't have to be 100%. I don't need that. I would rather have the techniques and the things that work and adapt it for modern applications. And like, I do a lot of hand sewing because I can take this with me. There's only so many places I can take the sewing machine and not get stared at. Though I have worn, like, my wrist pin cushion into shops. And people are like, what's that? I'm like, oh, right, I'm sewing something. There were times, like, I literally have forgotten that I've worn this. Like, my last job, like, in person, was, like, right around the start of the pandemic. I brought this with me because of the fact that I was hand sewing my own masks. Before, like research came out about, like, the efficacy of cloth masks. Thank you, Nero Fur. Thank you, Nero, for clarifying that information. Nero is a doctor who streams on here as, like, a science communications. And I had asked him in his chat, like, hey, I heard, like, this information. Would you be willing to elaborate on that? And he broke it down. I was like, oh, okay. That makes sense. Like, I still make the masks now. Like, if I don't have, like, an N95 on me, I'll use that. Especially when it's hot out. But I genuinely enjoy hand sewing because there are things that I can do by hand that I couldn't do with the sewing machine. And at the time, I didn't feel confident, and the sewing machine did need parts repaired and, like, a cleaning and, like, just regular maintenance that it probably didn't get in over 40 years. No one's fault, just, like, we didn't know that you could actually take it to a repair shop to get it maintenanced and cleaned. Don't at me with this. It was, like, all new information, and thanks to my friend who told me about that. So it was a thing. It was definitely a thing. So I am enjoying the fact that I have a beautifully functioning sewing machine. She's probably, Canmore's probably due for another maintenance trip. Maybe in the fall. I mean, she's still running pretty good. Just need to, like, get her cleaned. Because the one thing I didn't know until starting sewing, like, with the machine, is fabric dust is a thing. It is very much a thing, and especially with linen. Pull that out. Maybe not that big of a stitch, but we're actually more than halfway through, and I'm not doing, like, the super precision stitching on this side. It's the inside of the dress. No one's gonna be saying it. And because it's like a darker thread, like at a distance, you can't even see it, so it's fine. So, to check in with chat, I hope you're enjoying the chill music and the pretty fabric sewing. And if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask. I am what I like to call a open book crafter. I like sharing information. I like trading notes and be like, hey, do you do this? Or, oh, you do that. Okay, cool. How do you do that? I like talking shop. It's always fun to figure things out, especially if it's like puzzling or at worst incredibly frustrating, and it's just like you want to throw up your hands and be like, all right, that's it, somebody, I'm putting out a lifeline, help, because I am that crafter who will be like, oh, I really love a challenge. It's like, I enjoy a challenge. Remember that when I do remember when I say that I said that when I start to complain. Alright, so... I think... if I can do that... and just do a couple of blanket stitches. There we go. There we go. So, just to share the progress, let me move that and put that there. So what you see is from where I'm pinching with my thumb all the way here. And a little detail that I did was right here. I folded this so when it's ready to go to the ironing board, I can actually just iron this part down. But what I did was I trimmed the excess of the waistband and I went a little shorter. That way, like when I had to... there we go. That way when I had to fold it, it will come out nice and flat. So here I did, I think it's called either a blanket stitch or a overcast to keep it from fraying further. I may do a patch just to cover it, but that's for another time. And then going from there all the way to there. And then just by looking at the front part or the right side from a distance, you can see the stitches, but because of the darker thread, it's less noticeable. I had originally wanted to just continue using the kind of goldenrod thread that I have been, which looks like that. But when I started to sew it by hand, I realized, oh, that's not gonna look good. It's like, yeah, I did it on the smaller stitches, but I made sure to sew very tiny stitches. I don't know how many per inch. I don't think I have my tape measure on me, but this was literally all I did. Like, I did this in the span of a few hours, like 2.5, maybe 4. And that's when, like, right here started to really want to cry. But that aside, this now looks like a properly functioning crop top. So, like, I'm probably gonna have to press and shape the collar again. But let's actually show you. This is what it looks like. It looks like a functioning bodice. So, like that. Hold on, let me move my microphone. Da-na-na-na. Ta-da! And as you can see, I have done basting for the sleeves on the cuffs. It's gonna look so cool, I know! And if this pays off, instead of doing snaps, I may do a zipper and then just wear it as a regular dress. I really love how it's coming out. Like, the waistband is a little smaller, which is fine. I personally do not like the big chunky waistbands on certain dresses because I have no freaking torso. I literally am just like shoulders, chest, natural waist. So it's like shoulders, chest, natural waist. It took me years to realize I had an hourglass shape. And I'm not saying that as a brag, but I honestly thought it was pear-shaped for a long time. And then when people were like, oh, you're hourglass, I'm like, eh? Like, literally, I had no freaking idea. And it's only until recently where I'm starting to be a little bit more comfortable in my skin. And just being like, oh, okay, okay. And like, literally knowing your measurements. Instead of being like, oh, I wish I could be this, I wish I could be that. I'm like, okay, these are my measurements. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna have to math this, but cool, okay. And just learning that even in historical stuff, like, padding is fine. Shaping to make your body look even better is perfectly fine. Like, literally having, like, bustle pads to make your butt look good. Or if you want to look more masculine, you can wear a vest that's padded to make yourself feel more masculine. And also when you go like this, squish, 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 squish. Like, you want to look like you have a broader chest. You can do that. You want to be more femme and show off the lines of your body. You can do that. So it's very freeing to be able to do that. It's not always and I know, like, the stuff I'm doing right now is a luxury. It is literally a luxury. Because not everybody has the availability to do that. Or the wherewithal. Like, I've ranted about fast fashion, but like, if you're able to like, I don't know, like put a gusset in your shirt, like right there, where your arm can go like this and not have to pull at your shirt or your dress, that is cool. Or be like, oh, this is a little too short, or this is way too long. I'm gonna hem this. Or I'm gonna put it in cute little pin tucks. Like, and even pin tucks? Holy crap, this is like gonna be nerd out time for me right now. I found out that you can use pin tucks for your kids' clothes. And then as they grow, you just take out the pin tuck and iron it out. You have the outfit for a longer time. Or if pockets. You have a dress that doesn't have pockets? Not anymore. They're gonna have some freaking pockets. Like, me learning how to draft patterns. Like, learning how to draft that collar. I found a YouTube channel that showed how to do a Mandarin collar or standing collar. Like, it ain't perfect. Like, it's supposed to be like a little closer, but I draft, like, using the tutorial, this got drafted by me. And I will say this, that video, that stream is up on YouTube, I think, question mark? I have to check. But if you're going to draft and you don't have like the big fancy paper, paper bags from your local grocery will do just fine. These are stiff, they take a bruising. These literally were my textbook covers growing up. So that tells you something. So yeah, I'm excited. And I cannot wait to take care of the bodice, get that going, and then finish the sleeves, do another test fitting, and then draft both the pockets and the skirt. And a big thank you to my dance teacher for teaching me how to do a circle skirt, because this is gonna have a nice swooshy circle skirt. If it's too short, I can piece it together. If it's too long, I can hem it. Like, I want it to be about, I want to say mid-calf, which, hang on, let me get up. Okay, Lex, go back to sleep. Go back to sleep. Alright, so, this is a full-length maxi skirt. There. So this is a full-length maxi skirt. This goes all the way down to the floor on me. So I want it to be about mid-calf, which is T length. I want it to be T length because being curvy also means if I want a knee length dress, I'm not going to be able to sit. So the back is going to be a tiny bit longer than the front, just so it has the illusion of being completely even. And gathered with what's called cartridge pleats, and then make it nice and flooshy and swooshy. You gotta have the swoosh. So, anyways, I've been on for, I wanna say, DC! Hi! I was just actually showing off the progress. Look! We have gone from baggy to crop top. How you doing, DC? So yeah, I was talking about like how I want to finish the bodice and then move on to the skirt. And then in regards to the collar, I have to figure out like what to do, because I probably I could just trim it, because this needs another fold to just like make it nice and even. In order to do that, I have to like, wait, oop, yeah, something like that. Going outside tomorrow, nice. Hopefully like the weather is nice out. And hold on, let me give you a shout out because DC is awesome. I swear I can spell. I swear I'm smart. But yeah, DC is a wonderful streamer, producer of actual play shows, and has his own panel. So do give DC a look through. Go follow him. He's good quality people. I highly recommend. So yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to wear this, and if it comes out good, I will make it like a regular dress, because not only is this going to be a circle skirt, it's going to have a ruffle at the bottom of the skirt, and that's going to require a shit ton of math. And I am not a math gay. I can get by with eyeballing it, but I am not a math gay. And right now I'm just like taking a little break from sewing because guess who screwed up their shoulder again? Me. It's like this morning I was like typing and doing stuff for because I'm working on a Discord server for myself and for here, and I went to go stretch, and then all of a sudden pain, couldn't even lift my arm. So like I grabbed the ice pack and I basically rested for a few hours and took some ibuprofen. I am okay, but I know I'm gonna catch hell later. So I only took like 400 milligrams right now. The limit my doctor allows is like 800. So right now, like a status report is like I feel it here. Kind of feel it here, like right at the joint. And it's always soft tissue. It's always soft tissue. And it's also because I don't always know my limits. Because I was like so excited to like get it done. I also had some paid sewing to take care of, which also done. It's just basically sewing tags onto fashion samples, which have to get dropped off tomorrow. I have to text the person, so I also did some photo editing, which I will finish off stream. But I wanted to take today easy because yes, I wanted the inside of the waistband done, but at the same time, not at the expense of my body. I've done that before. I don't ever want to do that again. So yeah, like I have from here to here to do. I may just do that on Monday, just so I can give my hands and my arms a break. So let's move that there. I will say that I'm glad that I have more than enough fabric to be able to do the version of the skirt with the ruffles. just so I can see what it looks like, and if it doesn't look good, eh. But if it does look good, I think that'll be cool. And to give a reference on why I'm doing the second version of the dress, let me pull up. Let's go into Ecosia. Just boop. Images. There has to be a lot of this is fan art. It's like the bot in my chat had said, I'm doing two versions of the dress. One is the blue dress, the blue-gray dress in the beginning of the film, and then the yellow dress. There we go. Is this dress, which has a Peter Pan collar, a little brooch. It's basically the same shape of the dress, but with like a ruffle at the bottom. So everything has not changed. It's just the basic construction with a different color. So that's the second version. The original version is very much something like this, albeit with a lot of modifications, and this is going to be a house dress. So I think the best way to... Grrr. Why do you not have full body of... There we go, that actually works. So something like that. And also, I'm not doing a full ankle length skirt. As you can see, the bodice is very similar to what I'm sewing, albeit the sleeve is going to be around here-ish. And I'm not making like a very wide cuff. I want it to be smaller, just so I can move around and be like, okay, push it up, push it up. All right, let's do this. So that's basically what I'm going for. And I feel the shoulder starting to act up, so that's not a good thing. Okay. Oof. Alright, so I think that is my body's way of saying, okay, you need to calm down. So I am going to see who we can raid. Who have we not raided in quite some time? You know what? Ooh, Technique is on and he is playing Outriders? Huh. That seems interesting. But yeah, Technique's pronouns are he, him. He's a Twitch partner. He does some pretty cool stuff. And I enjoy his stuff. He's fun. So let's go raid him. Please tell me I spelled that right. Please tell me I spelled that right, because I am professional. E-C-H and I-Q. ECH and IQ. Cool. Okay. Alright. So here is the raid call. Hopefully it works. Please work. God damn it. Okay. Here is the raid call. Please feel free to put whatever heart emotes you'd like in front of it. And remember, the raid rules. Now you decide to work. When we go over, listen to the mods and the streamer. Your behavior is a reflection of the love, music, and appreciation I bring over to Techniques community. I'll be back tomorrow with some fiber spinning, body issues notwithstanding. And I will be back on Monday at 9 AM, continuing to sew and maybe do some game demos. Again, laptop willing. So thank you all so much for coming by. I really appreciate it. And remember, hey, you're doing good. Don't worry about it. Now go make some noise for Technique. Bye bye!